Hello again, welcome back to the part 2 or part Majima of the Climax battles in Yakuza 0. Now, firstly, we did Kiryu last time, or, well, yesterday, so today we'll be focusing on Majima, which will complete the Yakuza 0 Climax battles. Majima does require a much more different playstyle than Kiryu, which is, why some of the Climax battles may be a little more difficult or just... We'll get into the ultimate battle, alright? We'll get into that one later. Now, because Majima requires a different playstyle, most of his kind of proving grounds melee battles will be a lot different than they are for Kiryu. Like, usually they still have the exact same challenge tied to them, but the circumstances are going to be much different. And also with Majima, you can just spam one combo to get through like half the entire Climax battles, which is, making it very fun. But enough yet, let's just get straight into the Climax battle, shall we? Starting off with Proving Grounds. Proving Grounds 3 is actually a optional Proving Grounds, if that makes sense. Essentially, what you have to do is just not get hit or deal damage throughout the entire fight. But the catch is, you don't actually have to go along for the entire fight. You can stay as long as you want. You could either get hit by the first enemy in the first 2 seconds, or you could survive for like 3 minutes, which, good luck to you with that, but you can still do it. As the waves go on, increasingly difficult enemies will spawn in. Second wave, you get a guy with katana. Third wave, shotgun. I don't know more because I shit the bed on it, so yeah, have fun. Proving Grounds 4 requires you to defeat all the enemies using a very weak slugger star. The best bet for this fight is just to do a full combo every single time. So getting 4 hits and then hitting them with the finisher, which does a surprisingly lot amount of damage even for being really weak. That paired with some heat actions right after, so just the normal standing one or the face crush with the foot, or even just a simple like nunchuck swing that you can do with the bat for, 3 hit then finisher. It's pretty good. It shouldn't be too difficult, just try to get the taser guy out first because he will keep knocking you down if you don't, and it will take a bunch of your health. Proving Ground 6, it is a little tricky. It's because people don't know the trick, alright? Yeah, this is a trick, okay? Essentially, you have to get 30 mil yen within 2 minutes. This is kind of like the training you would do in the main game, where you just get new abilities after, where you battle out these 3 guys and you get that money up. The trick with this one is don't take damage. Essentially, for every 10 or so seconds you don't take damage, an extra multiplier is added to your cash. This cash is distributed every time you knock one of the enemies down. So you will start off for one knockdown, it'll be 300,000, then it'll go to 600,000, and then cap out at 900,000. A good way to begin is to just block the second you start, because if you run up to the 3 enemies, they will hit you with this back kick, and you will take damage. I'm sorry, but you will. If you manage to block that attack, then you'll be able to just do a 1 hit and then finisher, and just repeat that, and it should give you a lot of cash. It is also one of the only moves that if you knock them out with it, they'll just fly back in instead of doing that little spinning kick that, basically forces you to take damage. Now, if you do get hit, don't stress, you still probably have enough time, you just need to be really careful with it. Essentially, you just want to farm this one combo, so just 1 hit, 1 finisher, constantly do that, and you should be able to get enough with about 20 seconds to spare. It might be a little luck based, you may need to retry a couple times, but after a while, you kind of get into that rhythm, After is Proving Grounds 8. Now, Proving Grounds 8, it could be challenging at first, but it could also just be really easy. So there are 3 tricks with this one. A, your health is constantly diminishing. B, you're constantly switching styles after every couple moves. And C, your screen is completely messed up. Now, I don't know if this is a screen resolution issue, but I'm pretty sure the GIF that they use to alter your screen is locked to 1080p. So if your monitor supports something like 1440p or 4K, this effect will just look completely messed up on your screen. Luckily, it won't affect you as much as it normally would, so you'll just see it in the center of your screen, the outside will be completely visible. So it kind of nullifies the effect in a way. I don't know, it's pretty weird. Once you spawn in for this fight, the first thing you want to do is grab the Marlin cannon and just straight up unload into the group of enemies in front of you. Toss them about 3-4 cannons, they should all be knocked down. Maybe there's some you need to clear off, but by the time you get off that third or fourth shot, you should already have switched styles. Now depending on your situation, you're going to have to adjust it a little. If you switch to breaker, just do a quick breaker combo where you go to the floor and do like those cyclone kick. This does a hell of a lot of damage and is completely broken for all Majima fights. And if you get put into slugger, just do a whole combo. You'll usually have enough heat so that the walls will just not affect you anymore. After the first wave, a group of lady boys will come in and they'll, try and kill you. If you get put into thug style this time, you can also use the Marlin cannon again, which should be able to clear all of them out except for maybe one. If you're put in breaker, just do like that long breaker combo, should do like all of them. And if you're in slugger, a good thing to do would probably be use this base standing heat action because it stalls the timer and it also stalls the health decay. After those people, there will be a group of 3 just regular old guys. One of them have a wrestler moveset, so be careful of that, but they should be pretty easy to take down. Again, if you're in thug, the Marlin cannon will go great. You just want to save maybe 1 or 2 for the ending bit. It can be a little annoying if you're in the middle of a combo and you just straight up switch and your entire plan goes down, but you kind of just have to change to what style you are. So if you're in the middle of thinking about a slugger finisher and you get put into breaker, just do a quick breaker combo, it's not going to hurt you. The final group of enemies will be a bunch of masked men and there will be one guy with a katana. Essentially, you're praying to get put into thug style in this fight so you can go to that Marlin cannon and just finish off most of those enemies. If not, breaker would also be a good bet. Just try and make sure you knock down the guy with the sword first, because if he slashes you at any point and you lose that heat, the run's essentially over. You just want to keep up all that heat for the entire fight and eventually you should get this down. This one can be tricky if you don't know the ins and outs of all the styles, so just be wary of that. For Proving Grounds 10, all you have to do is defeat all the waves of enemies without taking damage in the Mad Dog style. The first group of enemies are pretty easy. They all have weapons, but obviously you can't get hit, so the damage doesn't really mean anything to you. I'd focus on going to the side first so that you can get multiple with one combo. If you can do the spinning combo, that'll be best, and if you can hit that and you can hit the finisher, you can do your little running kind of damage thingy, and it should be able to take them all out. Again, their attacks are pretty slow, and if you're quick enough, you probably won't even get attacked. The second fight is just a guy with a chainsaw. Now, for him, you just bait out one of his running attacks and then hit him from behind. 1 or 2 combos should do, and your little running damage thingy should be able to get him down. His attacks are extremely telegraphed, and you can basically see it coming from a mile away. After him is a group of 3 men, one which has a shotgun. So what you want to do with this guy is run around him, make sure to dodge right before he shoots, and then just do a combo on the guy in the middle. If you can do your little spinning finisher, it should be quick enough so that any of the guys around you won't get hit, and they may actually get stun locked. After just a quick combo or maybe your little running slash, should take him out. Now this last guy is a little bit of a problem. The second you start the fight, he'll throw double feathered fans at you, and if you're not quick enough to guard, you're done. Now after that, all you have to do is just run straight at him and do a combo. Obviously if he's attacking, don't do a combo because I'm pretty sure he has hyper armor or something, so don't do that. But just bait out an attack if you can. Make sure to dodge out the way if you need to, and it should be pretty easy from then. 1 or 2 combos, he should go down, run slash at him, and that's all the Proving Grounds done, for Majima at least. After the Proving Grounds comes Melee Battles. Hooray! Melee Battles 2 consists of a fight of 3 waves against enemies in the sewers. You have all the abilities, but you're stuck in thug style. For this fight, I would recommend simply doing a full combo without the combo extension that you get. And what I mean by this is just doing those normal 4 or 5 hits and then doing that finishing kick, which should deal a bunch of the enemy's health bar. Grabs will also do a lot of damage and get you a lot of heat, meaning you could also just get some heat actions in real quick after. The first wave isn't too bad. The second wave also isn't too bad. It just has some guy that loves blocking. He played Yakuza 3 once and he thinks he wants to be him. Heat actions are really your best friend here, especially the knockdown ones, because they will all stall the timer, and I know the knockdown ones are pretty much almost an instant kill if you do a throw with it. The last wave consists of 3 more enemies, Again, they're not too difficult. They do have some annoying moves that can knock you down, but they're not exactly like damage dealing or extremely tanky or anything. It's just more if you know how to use Thug or not. Once that's done, you'll move on to Melee Battles 4. For this one, you also have to defeat 3 waves of enemies, but you're stuck in Slugger style. You have all the Slugger abilities, so you have all that, you know, good stuff, all that damage, the health, that no wall bounding, sorry, rebounding. Again, heat actions are your best friend. They will help you store that timer because that timer is really short for this one. The first wave isn't too bad. I would recommend using that nunchuck kind of move where you just do 3 hits then the finisher and just keep spamming finisher. It does a lot of damage to them and I'm pretty sure it just knocks them out instantly. The second wave is probably the trickiest because there's this one guy who just doesn't stop blocking, I swear. All the Melee Battles challenges, if they're difficult, it's just some guy trying to be Yakuza 3. It's impossible to get through them sometimes. Using the guard break heat action though, so pressing your, what is it, B or circle on your controller, and then pairing that up with a heat action when you're in 3rd gear, is pretty useful against him, but sometimes he just moves out of the way, so it's kind of pointless sometimes. 3rd wave is probably not too bad for you. If you could get through the first one, you're definitely getting through the last one. The only strict part about it would probably be the timer. After that comes Melee Battles 6. Now this one is pretty easy in my opinion. You're stuck in Breaker style, but yeah, it should get you through it most of the time. Breaker is extremely broken in this game for some reason, and doing that little spinning combo on the floor will basically always win you this fight. Pairing this up with some heat actions as well to stall the timer, and you're in for an easy ride in this one. It's not too difficult. Melee Battle 8 is a really easy one. Most people might get confused because you have 10 seconds on the timer. It's like Kiryu's one where you get that shotgun, but this time there is like no luck in it. Or you can see the cannon when you spawn in. What you do, spawn in, run to your right, behind the barrels, there'll be a cannon. There be a cannon, me boy. Shoot it like twice, they're all done. It's not as strict as Kiryu's one. You can really get it done like, what, 5 seconds? Probably less. It's very easy. Melee Battles 10 is the last melee battle, and it is really, really easy. It is just like Kiryu's one, where it's just a group of 5-6 enemies. They're all kind of tanky, but you have Breaker style. I'm not joking, just go Breaker style, do some combos, and they'll immediately fall. It's just completely broken. You really, if you fail the challenge with Breaker style on, I'm sorry, but there's no hope for you. Like, legit, no hope. Once that's done, that's all melee battles complete, and onto the Shakedown battles. Just like with Kiryu, the Shakedown battles are really, really easy and really, really short. Millionaire Battle 1 just takes place in a kinda cramped alleyway. You'll be in Thug style Majima for the entire fight, and essentially you just need to defeat Mr. Shakedown. You can just block your way through most of his attacks until he gets his yellow heat aura, and there's a bunch of items around you to do various heat actions like buckets, crates, all that. If you can take down a weak Mr. Shakedown, you could definitely take this one out. It might just take a little bit of luck, you know. The second Shakedown fight, you just need to get 30 million yen. This one is also really, really easy. You just go into Breaker style once he whiffs an attack. That's it. Breaker just does so much damage that one combo getting in will get you enough money. Trust me, it will. The final millionaire battle is against the 2 Mr. Shakedowns in the Coliseum, and this one is a little trickier. I'd recommend mastering the Breaker style kind of parry you can do, so that you can deal a bunch of damage at the start. But ultimately, you could also just use slugger heat actions with that built up heat and take away most of their health, you know, make sure they're down on the floor. Breaker style also just does a bunch of damage to them if they miss an attack, so it's pretty easy. It's best to kind of try and isolate them one at a time because usually they'll only attack one at a time. It's a little more difficult than Kiryu's because you don't have the counter hook, so you have to be in Breaker, but it is just pretty easy. All the millionaire battles are really easy. And that's it for it. On to ultimate battles now. Now onto the dreaded ultimate battles. Now, 2 of these ultimate battles aren't really that hard. They're actually pretty easy. But it's Ultimate Battles 2, which is the first one, which pisses me off. First fight in this one is against Massive Man. Yes, Massive Man. Now, he's not hard by himself, you know, just get him in Breaker combo, he will probably not even fight back. He does have some attacks which could just like straight up go through it, but ultimately he's not that hard. He's just pretty tanky. Fight number 2 is against Nishitani in the Grand Cabaret. He's also really easy. You can just set up a breaker combo, keep doing that, or you can go to Slugger, do some heat actions if you've lost some health, because if you're in third heat and you do a Slugger heat action, you get some health back, which is pretty neat. Ultimately, he's also not too difficult. He's pretty easy. Now it's fight number 3 against Sarah, which absolutely pisses me off. Now imagine Sarah being more punishing and dealing about 5 times as much damage. That's just Ultimate Battles 2. If you're caught out in one combo of his, you'll get, I shit you not, half your health is gone. I've had so many attempts where I've almost gotten him down, and then he just whips out one of his little kicks, touches me in the toe, I get knocked, and then he just like stun locks me for another 2 minutes and I die. The key to this fight, I'd say, is if you're low on health, use Slugger heat actions. You do have a passive ability to gain a heat when you're on critical health, and there's a really neat heat action you do in Slugger style if you're on third bar and critical health. It does a lot of damage, but you also have to be careful because you could be pressing the heat action button and it just won't do the heat action. You can also grab him during this fight in Thug style, so what you can do is you can do some Thug takedowns and then just do some heat actions while he's knocked on the floor. You could also do a breaker combo when he's on the floor, but you have to be careful because if you try and hit a strike pose or that freeze pose and do something after, you are not in for a fun time. He may just kick you down and just, you know, take half your health again. This one is all about practicing against Sarah. There's really not much I can say apart from that. If you somehow beat him, then we can go into the next one. For the next Ultimate Battle, it will just all be the 5 Kuze fights out of the game, except obviously you're versing him as Majima. The first fight is really easy. You just, you know, break a combo him down. He's pretty light, he doesn't really do much. His second one is also pretty easy. He doesn't guard as much, but his weapon does do a little bit of damage, so be careful of that, but still, shouldn't be too bad. Third phase, again, is like the first one. He does, I think, a little more damage because of the brass knuckles, but there's a lot of items around, so you can do some heat actions, or again, you can just do breaker combos because he has no counter to that. Fight number 4, he's got a little, you know, posse with him, so what you can do is more heat actions. Hooray! You can do this one breaker heat action where you, like, I don't know, you kick a guy in the balls while he punches his friend. It's a little wacky something, but yeah, it's also a pretty easy fight, nothing too difficult. The last fight, also really easy, again, breaker. It's all just breaker. It all comes down to break start at this point. Once they're all down, that ultimate challenge is a breeze. In Ultimate Battles 5, you'll just be versing against 10 bosses, you know, just like Kiri, except, you know, you got Breaker on your side instead of Beast, so yeah, you can have fun with those. The first fight is against Oda, really easy with Breaker. Or you can do some Slugger with him as well because he's really easy to block and Slugger will really get him down. There's also a bunch of furniture around so you can, you know, go into Thug style and just beat him down with it. So should be pretty easy fight, nothing too difficult. After is the sewer fight against Kuze. Again, really easy with breaker style. He might hit you out of it occasionally, but you know, you can just kind of thwack him, he'll go down. He's lightweight, he's a pushover at this point. He's like a little baby boy to me, he's not going to do much. After is a fight with Owano, so you just go about this fight like you would in the main game. You know, you could just do breaker style again, it's just broken. Or you could do some Slugger styles. Thug, I wouldn't recommend it too much in this one, because he's got a lot of like, grab breaks, he can break your guard really easily, just, you gotta be careful with him. But with all the upgrades in the game, he's a bit of a pushover. After him comes Dead Puncher. Now Dead Puncher, oh boy, again, another Yakuza 3 wannabe. He will block, and then the second you try and just like go around him, he'll give you like this, it will be a light combo, but it'll knock you down to the ground. It will not be fun for you. And when he gets into heat mode, he'll be a little faster, his punches will be more lethal, and he'll guard even more. So yeah, have fun. You can try breaker on him, but I don't believe it knocks him down, doesn't keep him down, because he's just, I don't know, got steady feet or something. I don't know, everybody has that apparently when you're playing against Majima. If breaker doesn't work out, you can always just do some Slugger heat actions. They're always like your next go-to. Thug grabs also do well against him, but you know, just turn it down a little because I think he might be able to escape him a little easy. After that comes another fight with Sarah. Now thankfully he doesn't do as much damage and doesn't have as much health. He's still just as punishing, so if you get caught out with a combo, he can still take a bit of your health out, but he's not going to take you from 100 to 0, right? He'll probably do like maybe 10% per combo, so it's pretty light, Just go about him like you normally would in the game. Should be pretty easy. Because he's much weaker and doesn't do as much damage, you can get away with doing some breaker combos on the floor and doing maybe some slugger combos. I've seen in my attempt, it's pretty decent against him, but you know, if you want to be safe, go thug, grab him a couple times, just go around, wait for an opening, should be easy. After is the final fight with Kuze. Again, Kuze push over, you know, the two collide, they're basically one and the same. He's really easy, he's got a bunch of objects near him to do heat actions, breaker combos, basically knock him down. He's a little baby boy, okay? Little baby boy. After that is a bar fight with Nishiki. He has the same moveset he does in the main game, and at the end of all of the ultimate battles, he's, again, pretty easy. You know, he does have some moves which just take you to the ground, like his charging grab, but he doesn't do that much damage, right? And there's no like heat actions to do, sorry, quick time events, so you know, Reina won't smack you in the head with a bottle and he won't regain health. There is also a bunch of finisher, so if you know, thug style, smack him on the head, or breaker and just toss it all at him, should deal a bunch of damage and he should go down pretty easily. Kashiwagi is up next, and he's a little more difficult because breaker style doesn't really knock him down to the ground. He doesn't have his like little millisecond QTE, so that's very helpful. It's just that it would take you a bit of time. He guards a lot, you know, Yakuza 3, him, basically one and the same. Still, just try and get around him, wait for an attack, then go behind like you would of any boss. Slugger heat actions again, they'll do you good in this one, but he does have a lot of health, so just be careful not to use too much or else you'll just be wasting your heat. And also don't go into thug style and grab him because he'll just kick you in the chest, and yeah, it's not a fun time, you know, it's a little embarrassing. Second to last is the fight with Shibusawa. Now, because you're playing as Majima, you don't really, it's a little different. You can do breaker style combos on him, but his rush kind of style, if you're caught out, he will like deal a bunch of damage, right? What you're looking to do is just wait for his attack, and then right about that attack's gonna end, if you're far enough away, start up a breaker combo and just try and get around him or try and get to his legs, sweep him under and get him to fall on the floor. Once he gets to dragon style, I just recommend doing straight counters and not guarding, because he has a guard cancel, like he'll grab you and force you to the ground, taking away a bit of your health. And he also has a bunch of grab cancels. Again, not fun. Breaker, like parry, will do you so much good. And the very last fight of all the ultimate battles is Lao Gui. This will just be him in his needles form permanently, so not the easiest, especially when you're in breaker, and he A, can't get knocked down, B, will interrupt your attacks with his needles, which will force you to the floor. It's not a fun fight. For this one, you're actually gonna have to try. I know it's crazy, but trust me, try and beat him and you will get him down. I was, you know, a little foolish and I got myself to a slither of health, so I had to play a little carefully, but slugger heat actions, I'm pretty sure you can grab him for a thug throw and then just knock him down, but yeah, it is a bit of an iffy fight. Once he's down, that's all the ultimate battles complete, and you should unlock the Climax battles trophy for Yakuza 0. That is if you watch the previous guide, which is right over there. Yeah, you know what to do with that. Anyway, thank you for watching. This is all the Climax battles in Yakuza 0, and yeah, stay safe out there. Like, subscribe, do what you will. See you in the next one.